The next morning we have a quick breakfast and head out of Illumia to continue towards Costa Coral. Costa Coral. I don't remember how this place is ever pronounced. What a way to start a video. We walk through familiar rolling hills and grassy knolls late into dusk. As we pass Meadow Hill, I'm washed with a feeling of nostalgia. This is where my adventure started. My thoughts wander to my family back home. Do they know I'm gone? How much time has passed at home? Is the passage of time here even equal to that of Earth? What if I go home and everyone's grown old? Will I even be able to go home? I glance at Leanna. What would have happened if we'd never met? Would I still be wandering aimlessly around Havengard? Leanna looks over at me, feeling my gaze on her, and smiles softly. Her smile calms me and quiets my mind. There's no point focusing on the what-ifs. I should focus on the here and now instead. As the sun begins to set, we make camp and turn in for the night. I yawn widely as the soft song of morning pulls me out of sleep. As the campsite focuses into view, I spot Leanna's empty bedroll and muster the energy to crawl out of bed. Time to get training so I can start my day. I quickly get ready and meet Leanna, who is waiting for me a short distance away from the rest of the camp. She smiles warmly as I approach.
Good morning!
Morning. Leanna hesitates and then steps closer to me. I pause in surprise as her lips caress my cheek in a gentle peck. As she pulls away, I see the color rise in her cheeks. She bites her lips suddenly, shy at my lack of response. I pull her into me and kiss her firmly on the lips. She melts into me before breathlessly pulling away. This really is a good morning. She pushes me playfully.
That was painfully cheesy. Are you ready to get started?
Yep, what are we gonna do first today? Casting or sparring?
Both.
Huh?
We're gonna practice magic augmentation. Now that you've improved in the fundamentals of both sword fighting and casting, we're gonna try to use your magic to enhance your swordsmanship.
She unsheathes their sword and the crystalline manipulator shines to life. Soon she's enveloped in a gentle glow. That's a Mage Knight specific skill, isn't it?
It's definitely a strong factor in what makes a Mage Knight so formidable. Now unsheath your sword and channel your energy. The magic can help lighten the weight of your sword and make your swings faster and more concise.
I gather the wind magic and direct it towards my blade. It feels light as a feather, like it could float on my hand. She looks pleasantly surprised.
Yes, you've got it! Okay, now when you swing your sword, use the air around you to push the sword in the direction you want it to go.
Okay. I visualize my sword as a magnet attracting the air around it. Like a hot knife through butter, my sword slices through the air with a sharp ring. Whoa, I felt no resistance at all. As my sword completes its arc, a wave of energy flies towards Leanna. She raises her blade and easily deflects the wind. Sorry. Leanna stares at me with her mouth agape.
Were you trying to do that?
No, I just practiced swing, like you said. Her expression shifts to one of admiration.
What you did was actually an advanced technique which requires a lot of energy and concentration. I can't believe you were able to do that without trying.
That's pretty cool. I twirl my sword, enjoying how easily it cuts through the air. I can get used to this. Wind augmentation is pretty awesome. Leanna grins.
Since you've been able to pick this up so quickly, are you ready to put it into practice?
Yep. Readying my blade, Leanna matches my fighting stance. We go through the motions as we have so many times before, but this time I filter energy into my blade. As she moves to strike, I easily evade her attack. Without the weight of gravity, my return strike nearly catches her off guard.
Good!
She grins in approval and moves in for another attack. This time I repel the attack with my blade and parry. She ducks out of the way. For once I'm able to keep up with Leanna's attacks using my augmenting abilities. Then I see Leanna's sword glow. Is she going to augment her abilities too? Her expression becomes stern as she thrusts her sword towards me. Her movement is a blur and I barely catch the attack in time. Before I have a chance to regroup, she strikes me again, and this time I groan as I get knocked back. I don't think Leanna's holding back or taking it easy on me anymore. She continues to overpower me in the sword fight. My breaths come in labored wheezes. Even with my magic, I can't get through her defenses. Wait, my magic? She is clearly a better swordsman, but my magic is shown to be formidable too. As Leanna prepares for another attack, I gather a ball of energy and blast wind magic at her. She uses her arms to guard her face as she deflects the blast. Her eyes flash, but there's a smile playing at her lips. In one smooth motion, she retaliates with her own gale. I dig my heels into the ground as I'm pushed back. Soon we're volleying wind attacks and sword strikes. In a last attempt to gain some ground in this battle, I channel as much energy as I can into one powerful windstorm and let it fly towards Leanna. She returns with her own ferocious gale and our energies clash between us. My windstorm cuts through her gale and knocks her down. She blinks up at me from the ground, stunned.
What just happened?
I figured there's no way I could beat you in a sword fight with all your years of training, but I've been doing very well in casting, and we have a better chance of beating you that way.
That doesn't explain how you overpowered my cast.
My training has obviously paid off.
No, I mean that level of energy output should be impossible.
She looks at my arm and inspects my manipulator.
The type of crystal we have for you shouldn't be able to even handle that much energy without shattering.
I'm pretty sure I went with this one last time. I'm just a man of talent. That's because this is all me. Leanna frowns.
What do you mean?
Maybe I've been casting differently this whole time. I'm just that good. Leanna shakes her head.
There's only one way to cast, and if you're able to do it, then you can do it.
Oh yeah, why don't we put that theory to the test? Let's have a duel with me using your crystal. I bet nothing will change.
We'll see about that.
A thought pops in my head and a wicked smile spreads across my lips. How about we make it a little more interesting? Leanna answers cautiously.
What did you have in mind?
Loser has to do the winner's bidding for the rest of the day.
What?
Leanna's eyes widen. I smirk. Scared?
You want to play like that, do you? Fine then, I agree.
Leanna, surprised, turns to a grin. Oh crap, was she holding back in our last match? I have a bad feeling about this. We quickly exchange crystals and then ready a fighting stance. So, if you remember the last time when I lost, I think she actually made us carry her back to camp. Okay. Sometime during our duel, a crowd forms around us as Zack, Kara, and Amelia watched. Zack shakes his head.
You're losing your touch, Mage Knight.
Leanna stares in shock. So, what was it the guy said? If I'm drawing a blank, I'm not going to click on it. This sucks. There's no need for me to cheer, as there was never any doubt in my mind that I wouldn't win this duel.
I may have lost, but I'm very familiar with my crystal. The energy output you had is still higher than what even my crystal could handle.
Excuses, excuses.
It's not an excuse.
Anyway, on to the terms of our agreement. Leanna fidgets nervously. I've got a great date planned. Wait. Did this just crash? First things first, I'm going to need you to take off what you're wearing now.
There's no way that's going to happen.
And put on your wolfskin armor. Leanna's face reddens.
There's no way that's gonna happen either!
What part of do the bidding of the winner do you not understand? She crosses her arms.
Maybe I don't have it anymore.
Yeah, you do. I watched you pack it when we left Wolfston.
A sly smirk slides across Kara's face as Leanna's blush deepens.
Why do you still have that armor?
It might come in handy. You know, if I ever need to hide that I'm from the Mage Guild again.
Uh-huh. I'm sure it has nothing to do with the fact that you like wearing it.
It doesn't! I mean, I don't. I mean, it's just useful, that's all.
Regardless of why you kept it, the fact of the matter is that you still have it, and it must be worn. Leanna hesitates and looks like she's about to protest. Or are you already reneging on her bet?
No.
Where is your sense of honor?
Fine. I'll put on the stupid armor.
Nuh-uh. It's, I'll put on the stupid armor. You're a handsome master. I regret the words immediately as a snap of wind whips my arm. Ow, that hurt!
Really? I thought that might be something you're into, Master.
Sarcasm chips off of her last word. Still worth it. I better stop while I'm ahead. As Leanna stomps off to change, the rest of us return to the campsite. Leanna finally returns wearing her alternative outfit.
Happy?
I grin. Very much so. Once we return to the campsite, we scarf down breakfast, then clean up as we prepare to continue our journey. We travel on foot for the rest of the day, the sun pounding on our backs. We make good time, breaking occasionally to eat and soothe our tired feet. Once the sun begins to set, we find a secluded area to make camp. Per usual, Leanna and I are charged with building a fire. We wander the forest collecting tinder and firewood. Every time Leanna bends down, I grin as I appreciate the view. Bless the man who designed this Woolston armor. Eventually we return and build the fire pit. Then Amy snaps a spark and the fire roars to life. Zack and Kara crowd around the fire as they prepare dinner. Amy plays with the pongo by creating water figurines which disappear when the pongo touches them. Leanna and I begin cleaning manipulators and sharpening swords. By the time we're finished, dinner's ready. Leanna stands to grab a bowl. Will you grab me one too? She looks back at me and answers flatly.
Of course.
She carefully balances 2 bowls and gently places one in front of me. Then she gets comfortable and begins to eat. Oh, Leanna. She pauses. My hands are really tired from all the work we had to do today. Maybe you could help me out.
You want me to feed you?
I grin and open my mouth. She blushes as the rest of the team watches her.
That's a little too much, don't you think?
I think it's perfectly reasonable. Kara grins and turns to Zack.
Open wide.
She directs her spoon to Zack's mouth, but he keeps his lips closed and ends up spilling a bit of gruel on his chin. He gives her a weird look.
What are you doing?
You were supposed to open up.
I can feed myself.
Kara pouts.
If you want to feed someone so badly, you can help him out.
Spoken like a true married man. Zack gestures towards me.
But I'm not the one who lost the bet with him.
Leanna snatches my bowl.
Fine, I'll do it.
She scoops a spoonful and holds it out. Before she reaches my mouth, I lean forward and eat from the spoon. She's surprised and almost drops the spoon. Sorry, I was a little eager.
Next bite.
Leanna continues to feed me until my bowl is empty. After we finish eating, we help with cleanup. Then Leanna plops down in front of the fire and I sit beside her.
It's been a long day.
Yeah,
I'm ready to just lie back and relax for a little while.
that's a good idea. I lay my head down on Leanna's lap.
Hey! What are you doing?
I'm lying back and relaxing, just like you suggested.
But on me?
Why not, when there's a comfy pillow right in front of me? She doesn't protest any further, and I close my eyes. As my breathing deepens, I feel a gentle touch as delicate fingers massage my temple. This is even better than I expected. I sigh contentedly and crack a peek at Leanna. A soft smile graces her lips as her fingers continue to work their magic along my temple.
You know, if this is what losing feels like, then maybe it's not so bad.
Oh yeah? Well, I'm glad to hear you say that. I can make sure you lose more often. The pressure on my temples increased slightly and I tense up. Just kidding.
Good.
Her fingers relax as she resumes the massage.
The only thing I'm not a fan of is wearing this armor.
You look super hot though. It's too bad you're bothered by it.
Well, I'd prefer to wear it in private if you like it so much.
I open my eyes and look up at Leanna, whose face has turned as red as a tomato. Her mouth is agape as she realizes what she just said.
I mean, it's flattering, and I don't hate it, and you like it, so shut up!
I laugh as Leanna looks away. She's so cute. As I'm savoring my temporary pillow, I hear Kara's voice.
Oh, look how adorable they are.
She looks over at Zack, who is way too interested in his discharge to even notice what's going on. Kara frowns and kicks him in the shin.
Ow! What was that for?
Stop trying to be so cool and edgy all the time. Why can't you be more cute and affectionate like him?
See, someone gets it.
I don't know. Probably because he doesn't have to deal with a violent girlfriend.
I wouldn't have to be a violent girlfriend if you just give me what I need.
Spoken like a true married woman.
Maybe you shouldn't need so much.
I don't need much. Just the bare necessities. Like cuddles.
That sounds like a luxury to me.
I want cuddles!
No.
I want cuddles!
I said...
Kara pounces on Zack and wraps her arms around him. Zack struggles in her grip, but Kara is relentless.
Ah, get off me!
Zack continues to struggle, but is no match for Kara. How is that even possible? Amelia silently looks back and forth between Zach and Kara and Leanna and me. She looks down at the pongo beside her.
How very perplexing. Perhaps there is some truth to the adage that infatuation leads a person to do insensible things.
Poi poi.
Eventually, we all settle down and get ready for bed. I crawl into my bedroll and fall asleep as soon as I lie down. I awaken bright and early the next morning. Leanna and I have a quick spar and practice and return to the group, just in time for breakfast. After we finish eating and clean up the camp, we waste no time resuming our journey towards Costa Coral. It was kind of nice having her close to me all day, though. I'm a little disappointed Leanna's already changed back into her usual outfit. After all, she kept the wolfskin armor, so she must like it at least a little bit. We'll have to have another wager again sometime soon. Kara glances over at me and Leanna, Zach staying close beside her.
No new wagers today.
Nope.
Too bad.
I know. My source of entertainment's gone. This is gonna be a long trip.
Kara hugs Zach's arm and pushes herself close to him.
I'm sure I could find a way to keep you entertained.
And I'm gonna start walking now.
Same here.
Amelia's shoulders are packed and leads the way. The pongo hops onto my shoulder as we set off. The road towards Costa Coral is clear, and we make good time. With the sun high in the sky, sweat pricks my skin. The temperature is much milder here than it was back north. It's a welcome change from the previous cold. We arrive in Costa Coral in the afternoon. As we pass through the gates, the first thing I notice is the salty breeze coasting through town. The houses and shops are all but built higher above ground than what I'm used to seeing, with large wide windows to let in the sun and breeze. We pass through the main square. People peruse the shops, but the bustle isn't quite as busy as the previous towns. Shopkeepers laze by the desk, fanning themselves with wide-woven fans. The slow pace of town calms me. This would be a really nice place to just relax for a few days. There's a bright smile on Lena's face as she enjoys the wind combing through her hair. Everyone seems to feel the same tranquility I do. After passing through town, we find the inn where we settle down. We order some food and situate ourselves near the open window. Amelia immediately consults her notes.
Now that we have arrived at Costa Coral, it would be in our best interest to survey the area and search for additional information which can lead to the water temple.
No one answers her. I look at the rest of the group and they're staring out the window. Following their gaze, the view from the inn overlooks brilliant white sands and crystal blue water.
Oi!
The pongo pops out from seemingly nowhere and settles near the window.
It's so beautiful.
Kara grins broadly and leans closer to the window to get a better look. Even Zach relaxes as he watches the gentle lapping of the waves. Only Amelia remains transfixed on her notes.
Perhaps we should inquire with the locals here as to the whereabouts of the temple.
Leanna reluctantly tears her gaze away from the beach.
Well, I suppose we should do that.
Or we could take a break from all that traveling and take some time to recharge and then scout for information.
I vote that.
Boing boing.
Pongo seconds that vote.
Pongo's got good taste.
Kara kneels down and pats the pongo on the head. He chirrups happily.
We've arrived here for a purpose, and that purpose should be fulfilled.
See, if she actually had a whip to strike us with, that would be a lot more of a convincing argument.
That's true, but wouldn't we have more success after we've had a chance to rest and can search with fresh eyes?
I've been feeling a bit pale after spending so much time in the cold north. It'd be so nice to just relax and bask in the sun for a while.
The beach sounds like a great idea.
There's a pause as we blink at Zach. Really?
Of course.
Leanna wrinkles her brow.
There's no reward for going to the beach.
Not everything I do has to have a reward.
Kara smirks and wraps herself around Zach.
Obviously, his motivation for going to the beach is to spend more time with me.
I take it back. Let's do Amy's thing.
Hey!
Amy looks thoughtful.
The journey here has been long. I suppose a brief repose could be a good idea.
Then it's settled.
I don't know about you guys, but I didn't exactly pack my swimsuit.
Good point.
I noticed a few clothing shops we passed on our way here. Perhaps we may find something suitable within.
Why don't we take a look at the shops, and then we all can meet down at the beach?
We agree to the plan and begin to head off when Kara stops me and Zach.
Nuh-uh. No boys allowed.
What?
It'll be way more fun if it's a surprise. Trust me.
She winks and hurries out with Leanna and Amy before we can protest. That just leaves Zach and me to team up and shop for swimsuits. After leaving the inn together, we browse the local bazaar. We each flip through the racks, and Zach grabs the first pair of dark swim trunks he finds and brings it to the counter for purchase. Wow, that was fast. He shrugs.
It's not like it really matters.
I take a look at a few different styles, but ultimately decide on an orange suit. After buying our suits, we head down to the beach to get changed. We carefully tread down the stairs carved into the wall of the cliff until our feet touch the warm sand. The beach is lined with visitors. Children build sandcastles or race by the water, shrieking when the waves slap at their feet. Even more children play along the cliffs, chased by their parents who fiercely scold them. Most people lounge beneath the sun, flipping every so often to even out their tans. Zach and I wait for the girls in a more secluded spot. I glance down and see the Pongo has returned. You made it here before the girls. Is that just me, or does he sound disappointed? We continue to wait. And wait. So, Zach, what kind of swimsuits do you think the girls will get? Zach shrugs.
Nice ones, I would guess.
I nod. I'm really looking forward to seeing... So the choice here would be the first two, either because we're going for the romance route or to see if we can provoke jealousy. What kind of swimsuit Leanna chooses? Based on her reaction to her wolfskin armor, I guess she might cover up a bit more.
Yeah, but don't forget, she actually kept the wolf's den armor.
True, so maybe she secretly likes showing more skin.
You'd know better than I would.
What's that supposed to mean?
I mean, if there's anyone she'd enjoy showing more skin to, it's certainly not me.
My cheeks heat up at the thought.
It's Kara.
That is probably very true. Zach nods. Finally, we hear the girls before we see them. Kara leads the way and bounces into view. Her string bikini seems to be struggling to stay put.
Hey guys! Were you waiting long?
He responds with a low guttural gurgle. Kara blinks.
I mean, yes, we were waiting forever.
She grins slyly.
Sorry to keep you waiting. It took a while for me to find the perfect suit.
She spins round.
So, what do you think?
Zach shrugs.
It's fine.
Kara pouts. Before she can respond, Leanna and Amy catch up to us. Leanna's white bandeau suit hugs her in all the right ways, while Amy's pink ruffles make her look cute and girly. I give Leanna a once-over. We'll go with it. Forget about your wolfskin armor, you should wear this every day. She glances down at herself.
I'd probably make a lot more friends if I wore this all the time.
I wouldn't call those people friends, but sure. After hearing that, I become acutely aware of the lingering eyes on her as people pass by. Actually, never mind. In fact, you should maybe change back to what you were wearing before. Leanna giggles. Amelia walks right past us and settles into the sand. Hey there, Amy.
Greetings.
What are you doing?
I am selecting the prime location for me to begin my construction
Construction?
of the most structurally sound sand fortress.
The Pongo bounds over to Amy and wobbles excitedly.
Of course, you may be of assistance.
Leanna pulls me aside as Amy starts digging in the sand.
Why don't we go check out the water?
Good idea. I take Leanna's hand and lead her towards the ocean. She glances furtively back at the others, but nobody pays attention to us. Her fingers intertwine with mine as a smile graces her lips. She carefully dips her toe into the water. In you go. I sneak up behind and shove her into the water. She yelps and singly throws out her arm to channel magic, but she's not wearing her manipulator. Instead, she swings her arms wildly as she falls over. Sputtering, she pushes herself back up and fixes a glare on me. It was an accident? She grabs my arm before I can move out of the way and yanks me towards her. I lose my balance and splash into the water with her.
Come on in! The water's fine!
Leanna splashes me and I dive out of the way before returning the splash. She ducks from the water, but a few droplets catch her. She grins mischievously and uses her arm to send a small wave my way. Whoa! I try to swim out of the way, but the wave splashes my face. If that's how she wants to play. I use both my arms and send an even larger wave in Leanna's direction. She automatically moves her arm into casting position, hoping to push the wave away from her, but realizes too late she's still not wearing a manipulator. Old habits must die hard. The wave crashes around her.
Oh, you are so going to regret that.
Uh-oh. Let's not do anything rash now. I try to swim away and put some distance between her and myself. For all I know, she's somehow going to send a tsunami my way. Leanna swims closer to close the gap. We were just having fun, right? I ready myself for the worst, but to my surprise, Leanna swims over to me and boops me on the nose. Huh?
Fooled you!
She giggles.
I got you all riled up for nothing.
Oh yeah? I grab her waist and pull her into me. She gasps as she looks up at me, her chest against my own. With the team back on the beach, I draw Leanna into a lingering kiss. Her eyes flutter as we pull breathlessly away. Now who's the one all riled up?
Still you.
She playfully pushes me away to mask the color in her cheeks. Leanna squeezes some of the water out of her hair.
I think I'm ready to dry out a bit in the sun.
Yeah, same here. Let's go check back in with the others. We head back to the shore. Amelia's fortress looks to be nearly complete. That girl works fast. The Pongo bounces from buttress to buttress, a little shovel in his mouth. That's cute, he's helping. Zack launches on the sand, his eyes closed, while Kara pouts beside him. She doesn't look too happy at Zack. As soon as she spots us, she rushes over to Leanna.
I'm feeling kind of hungry. Are you hungry? Let's go get some food.
She grabs Leanna's hand and drags over to the food cart. I stand next to Zack. What was that about?
Meh.
So there he is back in married man mode. Zack leans back in his beach chair. I think Kara was trying to get your attention. Zack? I nudge him.
What?
Well, what are you doing?
Trying to relax.
You should be relaxing with Kara.
I was. She was right next to me.
Yep, married man mode. Maybe with your eyes open and focused on her. Zack raises an eyebrow. Leanna returns with an ice cream and seems excited to eat it. Kara trails behind her. She stops right in front of Zack, but turns to face Leanna.
I am starving.
When Leanna looks at Kara, she seems just as baffled as ever. Kara reveals a banana and nothing else. I thought she was starving. She peels the banana and then carefully maneuvers the fruit as far into her mouth as possible.
Cora, be careful! If you take it all at once, you could choke.
Kara grins and slowly pulls the intact banana out of her mouth.
Oh, don't worry. I have great control over my gag reflexes.
Zack starts coughing as his face turns red.
But you're right. I'm just so hungry that I got a little eager. Is this better?
She puts a sizable amount of banana in her mouth at once. Then, noticing Leanna's chagrin, carefully pulls back a lot. She takes in a lot more and then a bit more and then pulls back. I don't think she's actually planning on eating that banana. She makes eye contact with Zack.
You have weird eating habits.
Kara's eyes flash and she takes a vicious bite out of the banana. For some reason I wince, and so does Zack. When she's done eating, Kara gets close to Leanna again.
Oh, do you know what we forgot to do? Put on sunscreen.
Leanna's eyes widen.
You're right.
You don't like to tan?
It's not about tanning. It's about protecting your skin.
Exactly.
Kara leads Leanna over to the beach towels and the two of them settle in. Then Kara smears a glob of sunscreen into her hands and starts rubbing the lotion across her chest. Zack's gaze is fixated on the gentle rhythm of her hands. Leanna follows Kara's lead and begins liberally spreading sunscreen over her skin. I'm mesmerized by the smooth flow of her hands across her supple skin, and I imagine they're my hands traveling up and down her body. Suddenly, Kara's lying on her stomach on the towel and motions to Leanna. I turn to Zack. You know, I couldn't see it when you were on the bed in Woolston in this pose, but now I'm starting to understand what you mean.
I told you, it's the most attractive pose.
Maybe not most attractive, but pretty attractive.
Leanna, do you think you could help me with my back? I'll return the favor.
Of course.
Leanna kneels beside her and squirts the lotion to her hands. Suddenly, the bikini strings across Kara's back fall to her sides undone.
You'll be able to reach more this way.
Leanna nods, then carefully rubs her hands along Kara's skin. making sure to spread the sunscreen evenly across her whole back.
Oh, that feels so nice.
Zach clears his throat and tries to look away, but his eyes are repeatedly drawn back to the girls. Even I start to feel the flush in my cheeks. I really wish I were Kara right now. As Leanna's hands travel up Kara's back, the strings holding her bikini up fall loosely to her sides.
Oops.
That's okay. I don't want any tan lines anyway.
Kara lets out a soft moan as Leanna finishes up her back. A small strangled sound escapes Zach's throat. I look over and notice a stream of blood trickling out of his nose. I think you've got a bit of something. I gesture to his nose.
I'm fine.
When Leanna is done, she helps retie Kara's swimsuit. As Kara stands, she turns around to Zach and then smirks when she notices the nosebleed.
Alright, Leanna, your turn.
Leanna looks back at us and frowns.
Maybe later, when we don't have so much of an audience.
I can close my eyes if that helps.
It doesn't.
Didn't hurt to try. Zach and I get shooed away while Kara gives Leanna the same sunscreen treatment. Zach wipes his nose and quickly returns to his usual self while I sneak as many peeks at the girls as I can. Kara seems very familiar with Leanna. My mind wanders back to all those times they shared a room. What actually happens behind closed doors? After a while, the girls return. Kara throws a ball at us. Zach's lightning reflexes catch the ball.
Nice catch.
Where did you get this?
Doesn't matter.
Kara?
She giggles.
I bought it, silly. It was with us the entire time. But I suppose you were a bit too distracted to notice.
In reality, she stole it from one of the kids on the beach. She winks. What game are we playing?
Beach ball.
Leanna grins.
A classic beach game.
How do you play?
We'll split into teams. Me and Zach, and you and Leanna. We'll each stay on our own sides of the court and try to hit the ball over to the other side without letting it drop to the ground.
This sounds suspiciously like beach volleyball. I hope you're ready to lose. With Leanna, my team, we're sure to win. You're on. There's no way this dream team will ever lose.
Yeah!
We high five. Kara smirks.
Oh yeah? Should we make a wager?
Leanna's face flushes.
That won't be necessary.
Kara laughs.
You better get into position or this first serve will be an automatic point for me.
Leanna and I hurry over to the other side of the court. There's a towel placed in the sand to divide the two sides. Kara serves first and Leanna dives to bump it. Then I spike it over the side, expecting the ball to smash into the ground, but Zach saves it and bumps it over. I scramble to reach it, but it lands gently in the sand. Okay, that wasn't the strongest start. It isn't long before Zach and Kara get in the swing of things. Soon the volleys to either side take longer and longer. At one point, Amy wanders over and sits down on the sidelines to watch. On the last volley, Kara spikes the ball over to our side. Leanna dives to bump it, but misses it by a breath and the ball bounces in the sand. Leanna lets out a frustrated groan. She serves the ball hard and flies out of the court.
Ugh!
It's okay. How did Kara and Zach get so good?
I have no idea.
We can't let it get to us. It's like you say with my training, stay focused and filter out all the distractions. Leanna nods determinedly.
You're right.
She closes her eyes and takes a few deep breaths. Feel calmer? She smiles as she opens her eyes.
Yep, I'm ready to win.
Are you ladies here to talk or play?
I scowl. We're here to win.
Could have fooled me.
Just serve the ball. Although Leanna and I try our hardest to keep up, we can't close the lead that Zach and Kara maintain. Ultimately, we end up losing. Leanna pouts as Kara and Zach celebrate. I still don't understand how they are so good.
Neither do I.
Amy brushes herself off as she stands.
It is because they play upon each other's strengths. Kara's dexterity and swift reflexes allows her free range to serve the ball for Zach's powerful strikes.
We did that. Amelia gives me a blank look. Sort of.
That's pretty smart of them. We mostly just split the court in half and figured if the ball fell into whoever's half, that's who would try to hit it.
They really are a perfect match. Kara throws her arms around Zach as she jumps up and down in celebration. A broad smile splits his face as Zach's arms wrap around her too. Suddenly he seems to realize what he's done, quickly lets go. Kara grins and scoots back close to him.
We make a great team, don't we?
You're pretty good at this.
Oh, was that a compliment I just heard?
Zach crosses his arms.
Don't make a big deal out of it.
She laughs.
Well, you're pretty good at this too.
With the game over, we all gather together and hang out. The sun begins descending in the sky, and we enjoy the light breeze billowing around us. Collectively, we relax in the sand and enjoy the last warmth of the sun. I close my eyes as I soak in the rays, but I still feel a bit restless. I nudge Leanna. Let's go for a walk.
Sure.
Brushing off the sand, I get to my feet and the two of us walk in pace. The beach expands out into the horizon. Brilliant colors paint the sky as the sun kisses the ocean line. We pass by the cliffs and both Leanna and I hear voices. She stiffens as she goes on high alert.
Do you hear that?
Yeah. We pick up the pace and can make out frantic yelling.
Help! Somebody help!
My head swings around as I glance wildly about me. Then my gaze focuses on a small boy gripping the edge of the cliff with his tiny fingers. His face is awash of panic as tears stream down his face. A woman who I assume is the mother screams for help, tears glistening in her eyes as a crowd forms around them. Leanna breaks from me and races to address the boy. I'm close on her heels.
Everything is going to be okay. I just need you to keep holding on, okay?
The boy chokes out his words between sobs.
I can't.
Don't let go. Just keep holding on. Damn it! I need my manipulator.
She turns on her heel and sprints back towards the group and her belongings. Leanna.
Make sure he holds on. I'll be right back.
My heart races as she disappears from view. The boy swings precariously on the cliffside. She'll never make it in time.
I can't.
You can do it. Just hold on a little bit longer, okay?
My hands are.
Time slows as the boy's fingers slip. I feel helpless as I watch one hand flail, and then the other, and suddenly the boy disappears as he falls. My ears pound to the beat of my heart, and all sounds are muted, as if washed away by the ocean. He rushes through the air, but time seems to slow as I reach out my arm. The only thought in my head is to save him. I want him to slow. He's falling too fast. Slow down. Gather the wind around him and slow down. And to my surprise, he does. His descent slows and slows until he's hovering just above the ground. And then he drops ungracefully into the sand, but ultimately unhurt. His mother is right by his side, clutching him to her chest. His sobs are drowned by the tears of his mother as she scolds him with a mixture of harsh words and kisses. The scene replays in my head over and over again. How he was falling and then he wasn't. I remember reaching out my arm and then... The wind that saved him. Was that from me? I can still feel the lingering tingle in my arm as the energy dissipates. Gradually the shock wears off and I feel life return to my limbs. I'm a bit groggy, like I've just woken up from a nap. I still notice the intense stares a few people are giving me. Whispers snake around me and I catch words like casting and impossible.
That was magic, wasn't it? The boy slowed down and then stopped in midair. You saw it, didn't you? But who could have cast it? Must have been a mage out here, watching. Yeah.
I glance around looking for anyone who could be suspicious and their gazes land on me. Uh-oh. As their eyes narrow, Leanna finally returns and rushes over. The team is right behind her, our things already gathered. Leanna gently urges me to move.
Now that the boy is safe, we should get moving.
Indeed, it will only cause more questions the longer we stay.
As we trudge up the cliffside stairs, I can't stop wondering. Was that me? I knew I wanted to save the kid, but I wasn't wearing my manipulator. That's impossible, isn't it? And yet, I felt the unmistakable tingle of magic flow through my arm. Kara voices my thoughts in a low, urgent voice.
What happened back there?
I don't know.
You cast it.
What?
Somehow, you have discovered a method in which you can cast without your manipulator.
But I thought that was impossible.
Yes, however, absorbing energy directly is impossible too. For you to use that internal energy to cast is a new occurrence for all of us.
We don't know how to channel magic without a manipulator, so we could only teach you to cast in the only way we know how.
Do you believe you could replicate such a casting?
I'm not sure.
Maybe here isn't the best place to be discussing this.
Zach eyes the crowds of people rushing past us, presumably to check out the beach.
Yeah, let's get to the inn first.
We all change out our swimsuits and then regroup. Kara leads the way and soon brings us to the inn as night falls. We settle down in a secluded corner, all wearing grave expressions. The more I think about it, the more I'm able to come to grips that I casted from within, and the more excited I feel. After all, I just did the impossible. The silence is stifling. I can feel the questions teetering on the edge of my team's lips, but no one seems willing to speak up first. I want to see if I can cast that again, but the inn isn't the best place to do that. Leanna is the first to break the silence.
So, the beach.
I look at her.
You casted without a manipulator.
Yeah. Hearing that still sounds so weird and unnatural.
How did you do it?
I have no idea. Everything happened so fast.
Perhaps you can recall certain stimuli which may have affected you differently.
I think back. The kid was falling and I didn't want him to get hurt. And then it just happened.
Was there a technique you used which is different than what you normally do?
I don't know. I had reached out and then energy shot out of my arm.
Did the energy feel any different?
Amy raises a brow at Kara.
What? I'm not a caster.
Maybe a bit more concentrated? I really don't remember. My mind was focused on other things. Amy frowns.
There must have been an effect which triggered the change in the cast. Something which allowed you to connect with your inner reservoir of energy. If you could just recall what it is, you could replicate the cast.
My mind is a swirl of thoughts. Leanna notices my discomfort.
Maybe we should table this discussion for later.
It is imperative that we discover how to recreate the cast.
I agree, but we may be more successful if he tries to cast again. And the inn isn't the ideal place to practice.
Amy pauses, then nods.
You are correct. We shall attempt to recast again when we are more isolated.
Maybe we should figure out our next steps for finding the water temple.
You're right. We had our break at the beach, but we did come here for a reason.
This city is the closest to the islands among the coast. If I recall correctly, the exact location of the water temple has been lost to even El Durism. My assumption would be that it is located on one of those islands, similar to how the wind temple was located on the floating isles.
An intelligent assumption, but one that will keep you from the true location, I fear.
We turn to the stranger approaching our table. His silver hair is pulled back out of his face to reveal kind brown eyes. He's tall in stature with a sturdy build, but the rugged lines in his face shows his age. He offers us a genuine smile through his full beard.
That which has been hidden from memory is safely stored beneath nature's rocky peaks.
What? Who is this guy, and why is he eavesdropping on our conversation? Zack narrows his eyes.
And who are you?
Just a simple bard.
A bard.
The man's eyes light up. He clears his throat.
I warned the lonely soul not to seek comfort from the sea, for her will cannot be tamed, and when she pulls him into a watery bosom for his death, she cannot be blamed.
Suddenly, Leanna leaps out of her chair. It topples over with a clatter. Her cheeks are rosy and her voice grows in enthusiasm as she finishes the recitation.
And yet still he sought her bravely, wading ever deep. And far beneath her seafoam lace, his secrets she will keep.
Her eyes shine with a bright wonder as she stares transfixed at the man. He grins at her.
That was beautiful. I thank you.
I love the poetry of Giggleane. It's great to meet someone who also knows of his work.
The man grins but doesn't say more.
When did you come across his poem?
Just after I finished writing it, I suppose.
Leanna looks as if she just had a heart attack.
You're Giggleane?
He nods and bows slightly. Leanna takes in a sharp breath of air, then squeals excitedly.
I can't believe I'm talking to the Giggleane!
She hops up and down in excitement and giggles like a schoolgirl. Her face is flushed and there are stars in her eyes.
Your poems and stories are what got me through my toughest years at the academy. Would it be okay if... I mean, it's just such an honor. Can I shake your hand?
In response, Giggleane holds Leanna's hands in his own, and she lets out a squeak at his touch.
I am honored to meet someone who has such a deep appreciation for my work.
Who's Giggleane? Kara and Zack wear the same blank expression as I have.
You don't know him? The famous bard! He's traveled throughout Asaria, recording the stories of adventurers. His poems are known throughout Havengard. He's a legend.
You give me too much credit.
You're just being humble.
Leanna looks completely smitten. I don't remember what I said last time. I want to say it's the rocket scientist thing. I don't like how into this guy Leanna is. Leanna continues to fawn over Gingaline, and the more I watch, the tighter the hand of jealousy squeezes my heart. I fight to keep calm when all I want to do is pull Leanna close to me. I actually dabble a bit in poetry myself. Leanna raises a brow.
You've never mentioned this before.
It never really came up. So if I actually had played Doki Doki before this, that would be the perfect time, right? Gingaline looks over at me intrigued.
Oh, that's marvelous. Tell me, what do you find is your greatest inspiration?
It varies. He nods in understanding.
I've also found that inspiration is unpredictable.
Leanna separates from Gingaline and comes back over to me.
I had no idea you were so creative.
Oh, actually, I think I have heard of this guy. You wrote about the thief and the purple marble, right?
So I'm a little disappointed I get to say anything about its stand-up philosophers. He seems pleasantly surprised.
One of my earlier works. I am pleased people are still familiar with it. It is a fun little tale.
That doesn't explain why you're here, or why you were listening in on us.
Oh, I'm sorry if I overstepped, but it's been a long time since I'd heard anyone talk about the temples. I couldn't help but be interested, and it sounds like you could use some help, too. I can guide you to the entrance of the water temple. It's located below the mountain valley.
How do you know where it is? He knowingly taps his nose.
As a bard, I do come across all manner of stories and information.
He strokes his beard in thought.
If you're open to the suggestion, I'd be happy to show you where it is.
Why would you want to join us?
I'll admit my motives are a bit selfish. If your adventure is seeking out the temple, I'd like to share in your adventure.
Leanna gasps.
You want to record a story about us?
He nods.
I promise I won't be dead weight. I know the journey through the temples is treacherous, but I have heard a lot about them through my own travels.
Zack seems skeptical.
Stories are stories. How do we know if your information is accurate?
Kara nods.
Yeah, that one about the thief seemed pretty fantastical.
Because he's Gingaline. He doesn't need to make up stories. He bases them all on real events.
Throughout this, Amelia has been scanning through Elder Isem's notes.
Perhaps there is merit in what the bard says. If even Elder Ism had difficulty locating it, then it must be well hidden. We do know that the Aquarians use the nearby mountains as defenses against neighboring tribes. It is not unlikely that the temple could have been built within the mountain. Difficult terrain deters unwanted visitors.
Then it's settled. Gingaline can lead us to the temple.
Amelia nods.
It would be valuable to have the aid of a knowledgeable bard such as he. I spent many a late night reading through his tales of past heroes. They are quite fascinating.
Gingaline smiles warmly.
They deserve all the recognition they've received.
Kara eyes the people trickling into the inn. They talk animatedly about the secret mage at the beach today.
It is getting a bit late. Maybe we should turn in for the night. We can head to the water temple tomorrow with the help of our new guide.
Agreed. I also don't really want to really want to listen to people talk about the beach incident. What if there's an unlikely chance someone recognizes me? Gingaline smiles at us, then pushes himself to his feet.
I'm very excited to see this next adventure unfold. I will meet you here in the morning.
We say our goodbyes and head upstairs. As I get ready for bed, I notice that Pongo never returned. He's probably decided to spend the night with the girls. Lucky Pongo gets to go wherever he likes. I crawl into my bed and eventually fall into a dreamless sleep.